Hello. So this past week we had a announcement for the class of 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. So, a bunch of people, a bunch of bands, a bunch of artists were mentioned. Two of them I really agree with. Soundgarden going into the Rock Hall, great band, and Bad Company, a classic rock band that certainly should have been in the Rock Hall by now, I would believe. And so those are the two standouts for me as a rock guy. There's some other good artists that got mentioned, but there's some questionable choices, that's for sure. And there always is. So, the Rock Hall gets a lot of comments in music cycles from people that are not happy with their selections and questioning, what the heck are you doing putting some of these artists in? And yeah, I feel the same way as a rock guy. There's too many non-rock artists, but I went through the Rock Hall list, and there's a ton of great artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame already. But there are some omissions that are curiously missing, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, I'm one of those people, I watch it, and, I don't take it all that seriously, because how can you? It's just it's an honor for these artists, for sure, and it's a cool ceremony. They, in recent years, there's been some pretty amazing performances at the Rock Hall ceremony. But certainly it's hard to take that serious when, there's some real questionable choices. So I just thought, what, I'm going to, instead of just moan about it, I'm going to make my own video, and I'm going to pretend that this is my fantasy class of 2025 or additional class of 2025, because I certainly do agree that Soundgarden and Bad Company are good choices, but I went ahead and picked 8. So I could have got carried away, because there's probably 8 more that are outside my list that I struggled with making choices for. So, we'll see what happens next year with the real Rock Hall nominations, and I'll do another video perhaps and put those ones in. But for now, I've made my picks, and I'm going to pretend that this is my class of let's call it 2025 2.0 into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Basically, what I've done is I thought about the artists in my collection that aren't in the Rock Hall, that are like, come on, these bands got to be in the Rock Hall. So, that's what I've chosen. But I actually did some in-depth, thinking about it, and, picked out some details about these bands to talk about with you guys. And we're going to pretend this is my class of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations. Starting out with Boston. I know, Boston's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, it could be because Boston only did like six albums, so, but come on, Boston should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They'd be in my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class for sure. 1975 they start. Tom Scholz is the principal guy behind the band. 75 million records worldwide sold. The signature song, More Than a Feeling, staple of classic rock radio. I think they've got the credentials to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Boston is in my class. Okay, next one up, and this is a big one. Wearing the shirt. A friend of mine did this for me. Very cool. Iron Maiden should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they're in with my class 2.0. Maiden into the Rock Hall of Fame. Probably the one band that everybody that follows music and, basically laughs at the Rock Hall, because how can you not have Iron Maiden in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Yeah, London, from London, England, 1975, Steve Harris, the principal behind the band. Over 130 million records sold worldwide. That's a lot of records. Signature song, The Trooper. Iron Maiden into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with my class. Next up, now this is a band that I'm not pretending that I'm like the biggest, expert in this band. They've been around a long time, but no denying them to me. Motorhead must be into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're in with my class. Look at that, done by my friend Adam. And Motorhead should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because they're one of the key leaders of hard, heavy music. And 23 albums later, from London, England, 1975 they start. Lemmy Kilmister, the main man behind the band. 25 million records sold worldwide. Signature song, Ace of Spades. Motorhead, in my class. All right, the next up in my class, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class, would be Supertramp. Supertramp came out in 1970, and London, England band again. Roger Hodgson and Rick Davies, the principal men behind the band. 60 million records or so sold worldwide. The Logical Song being their principal song. A staple of classic rock radio. Supertramp is in my class. Next up in my class, I guess the only solo artist in my class, and that man is Phil Collins. Phil Collins is already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Genesis, but Peter Gabriel is in the Rock Hall as an individual artist, and I believe Phil Collins definitely is a slam dunk to be in the Rock Hall for me. Phil Collins from London, England, became the Genesis drummer 1970, became the Genesis singer as well 1975, started his solo career in the 80s. 150 million records sold worldwide as a solo artist. Signature song, In the Air Tonight. Phil Collins is in my class. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class. Next up in my class would be, and they were nominated this year, but they would be in for me, is Oasis. Oasis, Manchester, England, 1991, Noel and Liam Gallagher. 70 million records sold worldwide. Wonderwall, signature song. Oasis is in the Rock Hall with my class. Britpop giants. No denying Oasis in the hall for me. Next up is another band that was nominated into the Rock Hall, along with their original band, Joy Division, but I don't even need to include Joy Division. New Order gets into the Rock Hall for me in my class. I would put New Order in the Rock Hall, and they are from a place called Salford, England. They began 1980. Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook, the main men. 4 million records sold worldwide. Signature song, Blue Monday, a massive single for them. And New Order into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in my class. And finally, my last selection is, and probably to me, other than Maiden, the most glaring omission that is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame currently is the Guess Who from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And the Guess Who started in 1965, Burton Cummings, Randy Bachman. 60 million records sold worldwide. Signature song, American Woman. And the Guess Who should be and are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if I'm choosing my class. And kind of proper that they get in and get mentioned tonight when the Winnipeg Jets are in Game 7 against the St. Louis Blues tonight. So go Jets, and the Guess Who. Go the Guess Who into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in my class. So that is my 8 selections for my class of 2025 2.0 into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And do me a favor, if you're watching the video and you have any comments about my selections, or you think I'm missing someone that you think should be in, and as I say, there's about 8 others that I thought of hard, but I'll keep them aside and maybe do another video down the road and see if they don't get in. I'll put them in. But drop me a message, leave me a comment, tell me who you think should be in the Rock Hall of Fame that is not. Going through the list of the Rock Hall of Fame that are already in the Rock Hall, there's a ton of good artists in the Rock Hall. I don't have a problem with most of the rock selections into the hall for sure. There's a lot of great selections, and most of the ones that should be. But, the problem most rock people have is that there's a lot of artists that are going into the hall that are, pop artists or even other artists that aren't even close to rock or pop. And they're great in many cases in their own rights, but it's supposed to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that's really where the the problem lies, because there's a ton of rock bands and rock artists that are excluded still that could fill those spots in my view. And yeah, like and subscribe if you're watching my video, once in a while and having fun with it. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, all the best to you guys, and I'll see you again. I think the next video I'm going to do, it's going to take me a little bit of deep diving. I've already started it, but I mentioned it before. For years and years, I've always struggled to answer, my own personal question: who's my band, the Hip or Rush? Who do I like more? And they're right up there as sort of 1 and 1A, 1.0 of my favorite bands. But I'm going to try to nail it down, do a direct comparison in a fun video where I compare the two bands album to album that I have, my favorite albums, against each other, etc. So Rush against the Hip. That's my next video. All the best to you guys again, and yeah, take care. Bye-bye.